Hey, greetings and welcome to Code Quickie. And today we're going to be looking at Ruby. I really meant to put up some videos, but I really got sidetracked on some work. And I always love to post the new stuff I do at work. That really I take my work serious. I don't want my work to get contaminated with my examples, and I really need to do for the clients that I'm working with. So um, now that work kind of has stopped, so I'm able to really get at things. And today we're going to be working with Introduction to Ruby. Don't worry, I'm still working on my GCP data certifications, but this is actually a big portion of requirements for one of my clients here that I'm actually going to be working with Carrie Capybara, which I'm going to be explaining. Basically, I'm going to be using Ruby for testing. So it has been a while since I touched on Ruby. I said as I really learn Ruby and go for the Code Academy certificate for it, why I might as well share it with you as well. So this is what we're going to be working with. We're going to be working with the Ruby programming language, amazing language. Developed in 1995, definitely makes things more human friendly. And me personally, remember in Ruby, I love Ruby, especially over JavaScript. JavaScript and TypeScript, it's just difficult, a lot of unexpected things that just don't happen with Ruby, and all the amazing APIs out there. All right, and definitely there's and what I like about it, it's the conventional way to do things as well as its own way of doing things. And that's what you're going to see throughout this course. I'm going to probably use Ruby's own way of expressing things, if it's expressing strings, arrays, symbols, all that juicy stuff we're going to get into. So let me go ahead and introduce her. Once again, most importantly, please reach out to me in the comment section. Anything that you need, anything that you guys need to know as we go on our journey to get certified. In Ruby, in this Code Academy certification, as well as more certifications of Ruby and all the programs out there. It'll be much. So please like, share, and subscribe, and let's get started. All right. So what we're going to be looking at is we're just going to be going at the basics that are in every programming language, which are data types, number strings, and boolean. So in Ruby, right, what we have is we have numbers. We have numbers any type, right? We can have any number. We have any number where we go ahead and we have booleans, which can be true or false, and then we have strings, and then there's are basically words or phrases. And basically with these basic data types, we can start to move around in the program's language. So let me express this in Ruby how this is done. So let me just get some numbers going, right? We can say we could the number, right? Let's just do a simple math. We could do this in Ruby, and then let's get a string going as well. Not sure if anyone can see. Use the puts command in order to print, right? Let's get a string, right? LCL to Ruby, right? And this is how strings are taken care of in Ruby, right? And now let's get a boolean, right? False or true. So you notice that if I, unless there's numbers or unless it's a false or true statement, if I don't put like Ruby quotation marks around the value that I'm typing in, then I would get an error. And then puts is like the same as console log in JavaScript for print in Python. So let me go ahead, save this. All right. Let's say intro.rd. Right. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna head over into my terminal, right, on the CRM, CD certification, CD, right? I forgot where it is. Yeah, Code Academy, that's the only one in there. CD vids, introduction to Ruby, right? That's where it is. I'm going to type in Ruby and then intro RB, right? So now I get the numbers, right? So numbers are not treated as strings. So 100 plus 200 doesn't print literally 100 plus 200, it'll print the result. Welcome to Ruby. I actually print it out as a string, and false print out false. So if I say, right, this is a boolean because I say print a paper or put paper and I try to run it, I get an error, right? It tries to run the program, but as soon as it sees something it can't work with, right, it's going to say, hey, that's not the case, right? So next, what we have is, say if you want to hold on to these variables, right? Say if you want to get the sum, say for example, if you want to go ahead and say, if you want to get the sum of 100 plus 200 and print that out later, we can go ahead and do is put this to a variable, right? So instead of printing it out to the terminal or to the console log, we're going to make it set it equal to a variable. So to set equal in a variable in Ruby, what we can do is like so. Just just remember variables start in lowercase, right? You set that up, and now use it later in our program. I'll just give you an example. Sum of 100 plus 200 is, right, my answer, right? This is known as interpolation here, but now instead of getting this one time and have to type this out, we can just put that variable there for later use. So anytime you want to use a result for later use, always use a variable like so. We go ahead, clear, and we're going to run it again. 100, well, yeah, it's a little typo there, but it's okay. So 100 plus 200 is 300, right? So that's variables, that's working variables, numbers, booleans, and strings in Ruby, right? So now there's actually, I always want you guys to use puts, but I'll show you the difference, right? If you try to say puts and print statement, if you actually try to use puts, if you use puts first and prints, what you're going to see is that we're going to get a space for us. So we go ahead and run this code, right? Statement. Well, my spelling is not the best today, but right, we automatically see that we get new line, and puts is special that it automatically does this for us. But however, say if we put print first, right, and we run the code again, right, just for aesthetic purposes, right, it's not going to new line, it's going to do something very technical. In order to get rid of that in print, right, what we have to do is a slash n, right, gets complicated, right? This is intro to Ruby, and an intro to Ruby, that's why puts is preferred over print. So let's go ahead and be using puts, right? So Ruby, everything in Ruby is an object, right? So say, for example, we have a string with samples, right? So in other programming languages, right, if you try to ask for a method on it, it'll give you an error. But however, in Ruby, this by itself doesn't need a variable. You can call this. You don't. You could use data types in Ruby without signing them to variables and still get methods off them, right? These are known as primitives. These are known as primitives here. So what you can do, run this code, and then we want to say puts, right? We want to be able to print that out, right? And it gives us the length. So this method right here tells us how long this word is, right? So this word has 7 characters here, it's 7. Right? Say, for example, we wanted to reverse it. I wish I could use a reversible word, but let's see what this looks like. We go ahead, save, run like so, right? We get the reverse of samples, which is selfness. Rhymes with Christmas. I see them. Yeah. So another some more you could use. Some more methods we could use is upcase and convert everything to uppercase and downcase. I'm not sure which one it is for capitalized, but if you run the code again, right, we get uppercase, lowercase, and reverse like so. Right, and the last thing for this intro is comments. Say for example, you have some complex math, and I just want to use the example, right? Math, we have addition, multiplication, subtraction, right? Say for example, you're doing some complex operations in Ruby, modules 3, and you want and so on, and you don't remember exactly how you got to that result. So you could write a comment here. And in Ruby, what we're going to use is we're going to use the begin and the end, right? And I always want to use, we're going to use the begin and end that says this code, the result to when more gas to the chamber Ember engine, right? And this won't, and if you go ahead and run this, right, this won't do anything for us, but it's only for you, the developer, to know what this part of the code does and what that part of the code does as well. So now, say for example, we are in a different part of the code, right? We can describe what this part of the code does, printing my name in uppercase and lowercase, right? So now, say for example, a few months you come back to the code, you're unfamiliar, you can look at these comments, right? That's what they're known as, and understand what your program is doing and pick up without having to relearn or like try to reverse engineer what you've done. So this is my introduction to Ruby. All right, so thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Most importantly, anything that you need help with, if you try to do these examples on your own, what I'm going to have is that I'm going to post this in the link in the video description. I'll post a link in the video description to access all the exercises as well as the instructional. And most importantly, in the comments, reach out to me if you need assistance with everything. Thank you for watching.